What's going on, guys? Gumster back again on another video, and first of all, I just kind of want to say welcome to my channel, I know I've only uploaded one video, and that was quite a while ago, a couple months back, but I just want to say welcome. I do plan on posting a lot of real-life sports content, kind of think of it almost as a podcast in a way, but just a lot of things that I'm passionate about, and obviously, I assume you guys care about as well if you clicked on this video. But of course, today we are going to be talking about 5 potential first-time All-Stars of the National Basketball Association for the 2018-2019 season. Now, all of these players, I'm not going to say they are guaranteed to make the All-Star team. In fact, obviously, I don't think all of them will. But in my opinion, these are 5 players with the best chance, basically, of making the All-Star team for their first time this season. Let's get into it. Our first player on the list will be Devin Booker of the Phoenix Suns. Now, I'm just going to say in my opinion, I think he might have the best or second best chance of making it out of all the players on this list. Now, Devin Booker's been doing his thing for a while, but this year he's ramped it up a bit. Even though the Suns have not. They're still the worst team in the league, but Devin Booker's definitely been doing his thing. As of when I took these notes a couple of days ago, he's 11th in scoring in the National Basketball Association, 25.2 points per game. He also averages 7 assists and 4 rebounds per game. That is 13th most assist in the league. He is playing point guard this year. Obviously, they've had injuries and, otherwise it'd be DeAnthony Melton starting at point guard for the Suns. So it makes sense why they're just starting him at point guard quite a bit, which is pretty impressive that he has 7 assists considering who he's playing around besides DeAndre Ayton and TJ Warren. Everybody else, you can find them at the local YMCA. They are not a good team at all. The Suns are definitely not very good. He was injured for a little bit, so I do think his stats are going to bounce back a bit. He's an exciting player. That's another thing you kind of look for in an all-star. Devin Booker definitely brings the excitement. He doesn't bring the defense, but he definitely brings the offense, and he's a lot of fun to watch. So Devin Booker, in my opinion, has a really good shot at making the all-star team for his first time this season. Next up, staying in the Western Conference, of course, is going to be none other than Tobias Harris for the Los Angeles Clippers. Now, for a minute, the Clippers were looking really good. They were the number 1 seed in the West, but of course, reality hit them a little bit. They are still in the playoff contention right now, and I do think they will sneak in probably at like an 8 seed. I don't think they're going to really contend for anything, but nobody really expected them to, or at least a lot of people didn't. And even last year, they contended as well, of course, when they lost. Blake Griffin got traded mid-season. Chris Paul got traded before the season even started. The Clippers are still doing their thing thanks to guys like Lou Williams, Danilo Gallinari's been really good this year, Shea, of course, and Tobias Harris. He is 18th in scoring, 21.5 points per game. He has 8.2 rebounds per game as well. He's playing the power forward, plays a little bit of small forward, but primarily the power forward. Obviously, Montrezl Harrell is there too, getting a lot of minutes, and that is actually 9th among qualifying forwards, his 8.2 rebounds per game. So he is a good rebounder of the basketball, and he does score as well. He's shooting 51% on the year, and he has a 43% three-point percentage, which is really good. He's really efficient. 43% for a forward, that is damn nice, and in my opinion, that is all-star numbers. Obviously, there's a lot of good forwards in the West. You have KD, you have LeBron, you have Anthony Davis, who's a forward as well, Paul George. You have a lot of good forwards in the West, but I think hopefully, well, I guess not hopefully, but realistically, there's bound to be some sort of injuries, so I think Tobias Harris is going to be able to find a way to slip in. Our last member of the Western Conference is going to be De'Aaron Fox, of course, a sophomore point guard out of Kentucky. He has been having a really good season so far, and it's interesting because a lot of people thought maybe he was a bust last year, which I think is ridiculous. I always find it ridiculous how people are so quick to jump on the hate bandwagon and calling people a bust. In my honest opinion, you cannot call a bust unless they're out of the league completely, or it's been many years and they haven't really amounted to any of the potential. But De'Aaron Fox, far from a bust. Lonzo Ball, far from a bust. Even Markelle Fultz, I would not call him a bust. So just stop. Please stop using that terminology. But anyway, De'Aaron Fox, he's averaging 7.7 assists, which is 7th which is 9th in the league. He has 18 points per game with 40% three-point percentage. Once again, that's quite a bit higher than he was shooting last year. So three-point wise, he is being pretty efficient. He is shooting not too much. Again, an excitement player in my opinion. He's probably the fastest player in the league ahead of Russell Westbrook and John Wall. Of course, John Wall just did get surgery, which is going to be interesting for a little bit later in this video, but nonetheless, I think De'Aaron Fox is probably the fastest player in the league. So fast pace definitely means excitement. And also the Kings, I think not only personal performance, I think team record also helps your shot in getting into the All-Star game. Now, think of like in Phoenix, it is a little bit harder for like Devin Booker because nobody wants to watch the Suns. Nobody's really keeping too close to tabs, but the Kings, they're exciting to watch and they're actually contending for a playoff spot just like the Los Angeles Clippers. So I think that will help. They've got more eyes. De'Aaron Fox, definitely once again an excitement player. Like I said, I think he has a good shot at maybe making it his first year this year, but realistically, probably not. The first player from the Eastern Conference, none other than Ben Simmons, of course, last year's Rookie of the Year. And I just want to say, stop. If you're one of the people that still makes Ben Simmons Rookie of the Year jokes about him winning it this year, stop. Like, the joke is not funny anymore. Just stop, bro. I cringe every single time I see them. But anyway, Ben Simmons, I thought he had a really good shot of making it last year. They did give the injury replacement spot to Goran Dragic instead. But Ben Simmons, of course, you guys know he's doing his damn thing. He's 7th in assists per game at 8.1. He's averaging 16, 9.5, and 8, which is really good. He has 5 triple-doubles, which I'm starting to really not count it as too much of a big stat anymore. Obviously, Russell Westbrook tallies a lot of triple doubles. So does like James Harden. LeBron gets a lot of triple doubles as well. I think people are kind of leaning towards getting the triple doubles more than in previous years. Not like discounting anything that like Westbrook does, because you guys know I'm a Westbrook fan, but I don't really count it as too much of an important stat as they might have a couple years ago. But nonetheless, he does really fill up the stat sheet. He's becoming a really good defender. Obviously, it helps. He's 6'10", playing the point guard position, but he has definitely been doing a good job defending his position. And his free throw and field goal percentage are almost up 5% from last year as well. And obviously, we're not going to talk about the three-point percentage, but he is being a little bit more efficient. I wish he would be a little bit more aggressive scoring-wise, but nonetheless, especially with John Wall's recent surgery, which even if he was going to make the All-Star team, which he was going to, but what I mean, even if he is still going to make the All-Star team, he's going to need an injury replacement. So I think Ben Simmons, I would say out of this list, out of these 5 players, Ben Simmons is easily the guy who I think is most likely going to make it, because the Eastern Conference guards, you have Kyle Lowry, you have Kyrie Irving. Now John Wall's hurt. Perfect opportunity for Ben Simmons to get in. And finally, we got Zach Lavine from the Chicago Bulls. Once again, suffers from the same thing that Devin Booker suffers from. He plays on a terrible team. Obviously, Chicago is a bigger market than Phoenix, but nonetheless, a lot of people still really aren't tuning into Bulls games like that, so it definitely does hurt his odds. But he is 14th in scoring currently, 23.9 points per game. That has decreased a little bit. At the start, I would have put him a little bit higher of a chance of making the All-Star team this year, but he has been kind of falling off a bit. He has had some injuries, and obviously, like I said, the Chicago Bulls effect. They are in a complete turmoil with their new coach. He is averaging 5 assists and 5 rebounds per game, though, so he is doing more than scoring. Obviously, he's not doing defense, just like Devin Booker, but, that's either here or there. I don't think... The thing about defense is you can't always measure it in stats, and with that being said, I don't think like for All-Star voting, people really factor that in a lot of times, where I'm glad like a guy like Al Horford made the All-Star team last year, because he doesn't necessarily put up the staggering numbers, but he plays defense. He does the stuff outside the box score, kind of like Draymond Green, that you can't really measure except for like advanced statistics, but I know a lot of people really don't like to get into that. So I like that they represent people that don't always just put up a bunch of points and put up a bunch of assists. They still play good defense and still are impact players. But Zach Lavine, I really don't think he's going to make it. Like I said, the John Wall injury could help his shots, but honestly, I think a guy like Dwayne Wade would probably be more likely to make the All-Star team. This year alone, does he deserve it more than Zach Lavine? No, but I mean, you gotta factor in Kobe Bryant. I mean, he obviously did not deserve to make the All-Star team at the end of his career. He was still making it. It's the thing in sports. We're all nostalgic about our old stars. We want them to be in the All-Star game, and I'm not mad at it. To be completely honest, I would rather see Dwayne Wade than Zach Lavine at the All-Star game. Let me know your opinion down below in the comments, but that's how I feel. But yeah, that is going to wrap up this video. These are my top 5 most likely players to make their first All-Star selection this year in the 2018-2019 season. Like I said, I think Ben Simmons probably has the highest chance. Next would probably be Devin Booker. Then Tobias Harris, De'Aaron Fox, and Zach Lavine would be the lowest shot. But I want to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Who do you think will be the most likely, and who do you think will make the All-Star selection? I will be coming out with a video of me filling out my ballot for the All-Star game. Obviously, they only let you pick the 5 starters, so it could be interesting. Maybe I might not have the picks that you guys suggest, but I definitely think it will be a cool video. But if you guys did enjoy this one, make sure to like down below. Hope you guys are great today, and there you guys comes out. Yeet.
Love is love, and hate is hate. To die's an awesome adventure, and I can hardly wait. Earth is a prison, I need a great escape. You know I'm in my zone when I'm up in outer space. You know I'm in my zone when I'm up in outer space. You know I'm in my zone when I'm up in outer space. You know I'm in my zone. You know I'm in my zone. I took a bite of the glory, I tell you.